tend to stick to you after time. Places tend to do the same as we do. This river carries on and on.
Welcome to Kankakee Podcast, where we talk about the people and the places of Kankakee County. I'm Drew Razor, and today we are joined by Jeff Cross.
Hey,
How you doing?
I'm above average.
Above average? That's good. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, Holly got us connected, Holly Erickson.
Yeah. She's
and
great, by the way.
She is like, without Holly, Pathfinder would be a mess. She is like the caretaker, so to say, of just Pathfinder, and she's the one who always keeps me on my stuff.
That doesn't surprise me because, when I worked with her at Grace, she was just like, she was the one, she actually started teaching at Grace. She taught my kids there at Grace.
Gotcha.
And, every time my kids had her in a class, they always talked well about her. And so I can see how, now that she's not teaching there anymore, how it can really be an asset to a company like Pathfinder.
You have a lot of roles in life. You do
Mhm.
multiple things, not just one. So one
That's
of the
correct.
things that you are is you're a caregiver at Aroma Park Cemetery.
Yes.
So I heard you also do a little bit of gravestone cleaning.
Yep, I do. So I've been the caretaker at Rome Park Cemetery this is going to be my fourth year, I believe it is. Third or fourth year, I kind of lose track, which basically says that I am the Forrest Gump. I ride the mower back and forth, and I go in circles,
Awesome.
I always joke, like when I go to mow the cemetery, I tell my wife, if you need me, I'll just be going back and forth at a Rome Park there if you need me. So I started that. And then this spring, as I'm, going by it, and I'm just seeing all these headstones that are neglected, to no fault of anyone's, just as what happens when they're outside all the time,
Right.
and maybe loved ones can't get to them. So I said, I think I'm going to start cleaning headstones and see what's going on. And I told my wife that, and she's like, here we go again. Right.
Yeah.
And so I really just, I took it upon myself to find all my family members, did a little bit of research, did a little bit of like, okay, let me see exactly. I know we can't use harsh chemicals and things like that, and called some cemeteries and asked what they recommended. And so I went out and basically just cleaned my late father-in-law's headstone and recorded it, put it on social media, and I said, anybody want this done? And then here we come.
That's
so
awesome.
It was just like that. That's how fast it happened.
Yeah.
So.
Do you have a big social media following?
Well, on TikTok, I do. I'm, I don't know, close to 100,000 followers.
Wow.
I got lucky back in COVID times.
Mm-hmm.
I posted a TikTok in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. It's one of the largest flags and flagpoles at Acuity Insurance. And I posted it going up this great big pole. It's taller than the Statue of Liberty. That's how tall this pole is,
That's
right?
crazy. Yeah.
And the flag is bigger than the normal household as far as square footage goes.
Oof.
So it's a huge flag. So
Yeah.
I did this, and I did a voice over it, and I gave all the stats, whatever it was, posted it, whatever. I went to bed. I had like, a couple thousand followers.
Right. Yeah.
Woke up, and at the bottom right hand, there was this 99 plus there. I'm like, oh, something happened here, right?
Yeah.
Something happened, and that thing just blew up, over 5 million views.
Wow.
Yeah, I have actually probably, because I did some baseball TikToks too when I was coaching baseball at Grace. And I probably have at least 10 videos that are over 1 million, if not more. So
that's crazy.
My kids, actually, my daughter, son-in-law, and my son got me a Christmas present one year of a screenshot of one of my TikTok. You've probably seen one of my viral TikToks. If you're a sports fan.
I am, yeah.
So there's a one where there's a guy shooting a basket at a great big hoop, and he misses it. And that's me missing it. And I posted that, and I got 5.1 million.
That's you.
Yeah, that's me.
That's insane.
Yeah,
that's so cool. That's so cool.
That's in Rockford, Illinois. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Because I was COVID,
right?
And I was doing the WNIT there, and I said, "That's big hoops out back is where we park." I said, "Before I leave, I'm going to try and shoot a ball into that hoop." My buddy's recording, and I'll be darned if I shot it and I didn't make it.
It just totally missed.
Hit the rim. So
that's hilarious.
Yeah, so that's me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. So with that social media following, do you Do you have like a schedule that goes with that, or is it just kind of
I
whenever
just
you
do
feel
it.
like it?
Yeah, I try to post once a day.
Yeah, that's
I
cool.
try to post once a day on all platforms:
Mm-hmm.
TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube.
Yeah,
Just real short stuff. I don't do long versions of
right.
anything.
The long form.
I don't mind doing it, but
Mhm.
it just becomes a little bit more cumbersome. Now you got to record for 10 or 15 minutes.
Right.
Then it takes longer to upload, and you got to edit it.
Right. The
I'll
whole
give you a
thing.
minute. That's
Yeah,
what I'm going to give you, right?
be happy with that,
That's
right?
right.
So is your main form of content mainly grave stuff, or is it
N-
all over?
So lately, it's been a lot of gravestones. Yes, lately, but and I've kind of went from gravestones. When I was at Grace, it was baseball and field prep, and putting the straight lines down and putting the bases in and stuff like that. So it kind of switching. So now it's, if you went on my social media now, you would see, the first probably 50 videos would be gravestones.
Right. Kind of goes by seasons
Yeah,
almost.
yeah, almost, yeah.
Yeah.
So I won't do any baseball stuff, and in the wintertime, I don't do a whole lot of social media because I am busy with my real job. So just don't do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so I'm guessing with.
Wait, so you probably know another viral TikTok of
Okay.
mine, since you're a sports fan. I don't know if you saw it, but a lot of people have. So I did a TikTok where I said players put in the bases, and it's a dirty base, and they throw it down, and they jump on top of it, and they do
Yeah,
whatever.
they can't get it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they get it, and then I said coaches doing the bases, and it's real clean, and they put it right in.
I've seen that one too.
That's me.
Yeah.
That's me
no
also.
kidding.
Mhm.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that's me.
I'm meeting a celebrity right
Yeah,
now.
well, okay. Yeah.
So with your gravestones, I'm assuming you've seen some pretty old ones at the same time.
Very much so.
What are some of the oldest you've seen?
So yeah, 1800s.
Wow.
Yeah, 1800s. I did one that was 18 something. It was tough to read, but when I walked up on it, it was probably the size of a small pizza.
Mm-hmm.
When I cleared it all out and got it cleared away, it was as big as probably a whole front seat of a car.
Oh, it just overgrown
Yeah,
so
it was
much?
all overgrown. Yeah,
Gotcha.
it was all overgrown.
Was it
So
one of the in-ground ones?
Actually, it was supposed to be standing,
Gotcha.
but it had some cracks in it, so I didn't want to touch it and do any damage to it.
Right.
So I just cleaned it where it was, uncovered it, cleaned it where it was, and there it sits.
Gotcha.
So, and
That's so
I did
cool.
one in the 1800s also of a little baby that had only lived 2 days.
Gotcha.
And it had fallen over, and so I straightened it up, put it back to where it's supposed to be, cleaned it up. So yeah, but that's not a whole lot of my stuff. Usually
Right.
I'm doing veterans. I think when I see a veteran stone that's overgrown or marker, they're usually bronze, and I try to get them, respectable. The issue with a lot of times I can't do them all because, one, it costs money. So I can't just donate everything. I don't have that kind of money.
Yeah.
And two, like, you're supposed to get some sort of permission if there's family members that are still around. So because a headstone is considered private property. So if I went and cleaned someone's headstone for free, it would probably be okay, but it'd be no different than if I just walked up to your house and started cutting your grass.
That's fair. Right.
You would probably be okay, but it's your private property.
Right. By the rare chance.
What are you doing? Right.
Right.
You were unhappy about it. So 9 times out of 10 is okay. And I do my best to try and find any kind of loved ones or relatives that will say, yeah, it's okay.
Right.
But I work with the American Legions and things like that. They'll give me some names to call.
Yeah, I was going to ask, is that a hard process to find those people?
Very much so. Very much so. Probably harder than actually doing the stone.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I could spend, a couple hours a week looking for one family member. So, and eventually I just say, okay, either I'm going to pass it up or I'm just going to do it. And, ask for forgiveness if they're upset.
Right. Yeah, that's fair.
But, I go by one rule. Well, we have, 2 rules really, but one hard rule, and that's do no harm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So don't do anything you can't reverse.
Right.
So if you make it look better, you're not doing any harm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Well, a little segue. So another one of your life roles that you have is you're a Big Ten and below referee.
Yep.
So how did you get into that?
Yeah, well, that's a good question. So in 92, when my wife and I got married, just before we got married, so I guess it would be, January of 92, I decided I was going to go to professional umpire school. go to professional umpire school. I'm like, listen, I'm going to be a professional umpire. So I'm going to school here.
Yeah.
This is, we got it all figured out, honey. Don't you worry about a
Right.
thing. And after about 30 days of training, lo and behold, I didn't make it. So I came back and umpired college baseball and, local baseball here in the area. And I umpired a baseball game with a basketball referee who did baseball and basketball.
Gotcha.
And said, Jeff, you really need to try basketball. I was I don't know much about it. Right.
Right.
And he talked me into it. So I go home, tell my wife, say, hey, I'm going to start refereeing basketball. And her exact quote, and I know she's tired of hearing this, but she says, what do you know about basketball? Because I never really played. I never played basketball above the 6th grade level. Never scored a point in competition.
Gotcha.
So I'm not a good basketball player.
Right.
Okay. So, but I learned and found my way, doing local high school basketball, from 98, 2000, somewhere in that area. I was doing that. And then I said, well, if I'm going to do it, I want to go for the gusto.
Yeah.
Went to a college camp, and here I am 25 years later working Big Ten down.
That's awesome. So you said before the podcast, you're not a sports fan though.
I'm not.
Can you explain a little bit why, maybe why working in that field could make you be even maybe less of a sports fan?
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of people that I work with that I officiate with that are sports fans. They have their teams, they have their, maybe outside of the sport,
right.
Maybe they referee basketball, but they're big football fans or baseball fans. I don't like to do it because I'm off work.
Yeah.
I just, when I'm done refereeing for the day, I have to go home and study film. I'm traveling to the next spot.
Right.
I got to book my own hotels. I got to book my own rental cars. The last thing I'm worried about is what the score was of the Bulls game.
Right.
I'm just not even worried about it. I got too many other things to do. So, so that's kind of where I'm at on that. And I think what probably the biggest thing that frustrated me when I was first doing this is I'd get together in a family, get together, maybe a Super Bowl party, we'll say.
Yeah.
And, I'm a basketball referee.
Right.
Some call would be made and they look at me and go, what'd you think on that, Jeff? Well, I don't know. I don't know the rules.
Right.
And I'm off.
Right. Or watching on TV. Right.
It's like, having a heart surgeon, come to the party and go, hey, do you think his blood pressure is okay?
Right.
He's like, listen, I'm just here to relax like everyone else is.
Yeah.
So that probably was the biggest thing that got me away from it. And
yeah.
I'm okay with that. And it makes working, because working a basketball season from late October to the middle or end of March can be pretty taxing mentally,
I'm sure,
and physically. So it's really nice not to have to worry about any of that for 6 months.
Yeah. Right.
Like, okay, I could just decompress now and go clean headstones and
right.
whatever that is. So for me, that's probably the biggest reason I do those things, because I think it created some longevity for me. I didn't get burnt out.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Something, and as a sports fan, I can vouch for this. Refs get a lot of flack. Like especially in Big Ten and college sports.
Mm-hmm.
Are you getting a lot of flack whenever you ref? Yeah. Mm-hmm. How do you handle that?
Well, I tell myself and I tell other people that I get one blink at a play.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I get. So just to put it in perspective, if you were watching one of my games just on TV, there goes Jeff refereeing, and I blow the whistle for whatever it is, and you go, ooh, I don't think that's right. And then what do? They show a replay.
Right.
And you go, oh, Jeff, you missed that.
Yeah.
Which is probably fair. I did miss it. But I'm not very good at math. But if you saw me referee the play, didn't know, and then saw the replay, you've seen it 100 times more than I've seen it. I've seen it once.
Right.
You've seen it at least twice, maybe even in slow motion, and maybe 4 different angles.
Right. Zoomed in, specific spot.
Yep.
Right.
All that stuff.
Yep.
And you're telling me I'm wrong, which is fine. I am wrong, but you're not comparing apples to apples.
Right.
You're just not. I know we get paid to get them right, but the last I looked, I bleed, I have a heartbeat. I tell people all the time, listen, my name's not computer.
Right.
It's Jeff. That's what it is. So it's just, I understand the fact that I'm not going to be perfect. Mm-hmm. I do the best that I can do. I try to be in the best position as possible for every play. And if I miss it, I miss it. But we have to continue on.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think also with with the occasional miss, that kind of thing. I think that's what makes the sport human.
Mhm.
Like right now, baseball is going to a lot of like the electronic strike zone
Mhm.
and that kind of stuff. And I see both sides. I see the side of like, hey, you know, the only thing they're going to have electronic in baseball is going to be the strike zone. The rest
Mhm.
is human ref, but still, I think having that human aspect is what makes the game a game.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
not just this strategic kind of thing.
And I'm okay with that. I think probably the one of the biggest reasons that they want this same strike zone every time is because, there's a lot of people gambling
Yes.
on everything.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll bet that the next pitch is going to be a strike.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So when that is missed and someone loses $100 because an umpire calls one that's an inch and a
Right.
half off. So I understand the concept.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
really do. But it is trickled its way down into youth sports.
Right.
It's trickled its way down into, we expect youth sport officials to be as perfect as we see them on TV. And we see major league umpires, arguing with major league managers arguing with umpires,
Mm-hmm.
going irate. And well, these are professionals. These guys are getting paid millions of dollars.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different than the volunteer coach coming up saying all these bad things to a youth umpire who may be 16 or 17 years old.
Right.
And I tell people in the stands all the time when I go and watch games when my kid was younger, I said, the only difference between that person out there umpiring right now and you is that person said yes.
That's a great way to put it.
You did not say yes. You said,
Right.
I'm going to sit here.
Right.
So you don't have the right. You don't have that right. So, so that's, I think that's probably the most difficult thing about that is we're really, I believe anyway, we're really losing touch with youth sports. We're damaging our kids. It's got to be difficult for them to always see moms and dads screaming and hollering.
Mm-hmm.
And, it just can't be comfortable for kids. It can't be.
Yeah.
So.
I agree. And I grew up doing youth sports. I did mainly baseball. I did baseball for about 16 years. That was my biggest thing, was like, I was the guy who would become friends with the refs because at the end of the day, this guy's maybe 6 years older than me.
Yeah.
And like for a lot of our youth stuff, like I did travel ball, I did all stars, they called it. I did regular, just baseball. With the regular ones, we'd have seniors in high school who are, making money on the side. And it's like, oh, my this person from my family, oh, it's crazy. So like, and then to have your coach come over and ring them out and cuss them out, it's like, even at 12, 13, I can recognize like this guy is 17 behind me. He looks like an adult to me, but I mean, he knows probably that strike zone probably looks exactly the same to me as it does to him.
Yeah.
Which I reffed. My main job at ONU was I reffed intramural sports.
Sure.
And with that, for me personally, one of the scariest things I did, because not only are you reffing, but you're reffing your peers. And so you have some peers who will walk up and try to smooth talk you and be like, come on, like, is this, that kind of thing. Now, the biggest things on the line is a t-shirt. Like you get the, Olivet t-shirt, but man, they will, I've heard some very not Olivet friendly words come out of some of the kids, because it's which like volleyball.
Wow.
I've never watched volleyball. I've never played volleyball, like that kind of thing. But then they give us a piece of paper. Here's the rules. Look for the rules. Go. Yeah. But then all of a sudden you've ruined someone's night because I missed this specific move that I don't know what it is or whatever.
I didn't know a double hit was a thing.
Right. Yeah. Or like learning what a lift was, where you have to have a closed fist. I was like, I mean, you're hitting the ball.
Looks good to me.
Yeah. Right. It went over the net. So I think you're doing better than I would.
Right. Listen, I'm here to do ins and outs. That's what I'm here for.
Exactly.
Right?
Like that's out of bounds.
That's right. And no more than 3 hits. I know that.
Right. Exactly. Right. The basics. But reffing basketball was the scariest because I shouldn't say scary, intimidating. Because not only is it basketball, we had 2 leagues. We had competitive and we had recreational. Recreational was my buddies. Like I was in choir and I did band and that kind of stuff. And so I did music production. So a lot of my buddies in those realms would come for the recreational, but then competitive was all the guys. Like we had all the sports players come because there was slightly different rules because they couldn't get injured and that kind of thing. But man, when the 6'7" offensive lineman's screaming at me because I didn't catch that foul, it turns into, I'm like, all right, you're right, it was a foul, my bad, and move on. But,
well, and I see complaining, and I see coaches and players complaining. Then if you all know it so well, then why do you need us here?
Yeah.
If you guys are that good at it, or gals, or whatever it is, then don't listen. I'll step away. You guys can just call your own,
right,
and be there.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to do that either, because no one, I don't say no one, that's such a strong phrase, but it's very difficult to compete plus think judicially. It's just hard to do.
Yep.
So that's why they have us out there. And then I want to yell at the person who made what they think is the wrong decision.
Right. Yeah, and like you said, also like replay, like with it, the keyboard warriors are really the ones who they're the real professionals out there.
That's right. Keyboard courage, I call it. Yeah,
right. And I think that having people being able to have your opinions, I think it's good. I think being able to, whether it's sports media, whether it's people who are on Twitter or X, whatever it's called, that are sharing their opinions, I would love to see some of them though just come on out and just step on a court.
They couldn't, and when I go teach at camps and clinics and from basketball season in the summertime. And the first thing I say is, you got to have courage to do this job. And you think, well, I don't know if I have the courage. If you put the shirt on, you've got the courage.
Yeah.
You've got way more courage than 99% of the other people that are sitting back just telling you how bad you missed it.
Right.
Or yelling from the bleachers, or yelling from 400 feet away that you missed it. But you had the courage to put the shirt on, whether it's an umpire shirt or a basketball shirt, whatever that is, you had the courage. So you're way above everyone else. So, and unfortunately, basketball officials, all sports officials, they only really see it when they get educated in the off season, and they see it they get support, and they get, good jobs, and they get those kind of things. They get the accolades for about 3 days in the summertime. And then they spend the rest of their spare time trying to officiate a sport, whatever it is, and just get pummeled.
Right.
Just get pummeled. And it's daunting.
Yeah.
To even think about doing that every day.
Yeah. And I got a lot of respect for them, especially whenever someone can be in the stands, scream at them, and they just look them right in the eyes. And, sorry.
We got to move on. And that is part of the deal, and I say it all the time because I miss some calls all the time. And I say, listen, I wish they all could be great calls.
Right.
And the decision's been made. You screaming is never, ever changed a call.
Right. Nope.
The decision's been made, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah, no, I have seen a player control anything one time. There was a highlight of Michael Jordan, and he walked over. He's like, "That was a foul," and ref was like, "All right, cool. You're Michael Jordan. That sounds good."
Yeah, right.
That is the only time. I had one more thing. Yeah. Either way, that's awesome, and I respect to you for being able to go out there and just take the criticism at the same time. I'm a little too soft for it. Even the college kids they'd be, because you can post reviews on the refs, and oh my gosh, the volleyball girls hated me. Like they'd request for me not to be their ref, and I said that's totally fine. Because there's multiple roles as a ref. I became a supervisor towards the end of it, so I was more of like overseeing everything.
Yeah.
But they had the referees, and then they had the scorekeepers. So I became full-time volleyball scorekeeper. I was like, I can count that I can do, but I'm not going to watch your hand and how you're hitting the ball and all that.
That just leads me to a story that this is how much I didn't know about basketball. So somebody had asked me hey, would you be willing to help work at the scorers table for Special Olympics? I don't know if you ever volunteered for that, but I'm like, sure, I'll do it. I'm just trying to figure out what's happening here. And I wasn't even refereeing basketball then. I sit at the table and say, listen, you're in charge of the possession arrow. Now, when you throw it up, white gets it, then, it's blue's possession arrow next time, right? That's kind of how it works. Well, they throw it up, white gets it, I give the arrow to blue. I'm doing good. I don't know anything about what I'm supposed to be doing. There was no training. It's okay, man. Just go keep track of the arrow. No problem. White would go shoot it, miss it. Blue would get the rebound. I switch the arrow. Now it's white's, even though it's not supposed to be. We're not supposed to switch it until there's a held ball. So I switch it. They go down. They miss it. The other team gets the ball. I switch it. They keep on switching it. I'm like, this is a hard job because I keep turning the arrow. And after a few jump balls, the referee goes, didn't so-and-so get the last jump ball? I'm like, I don't know. well, how come it's pointing blue? I said, well, I don't know. I'd switch it every time someone changes the ball.
Right.
I'm like, oh, you idiot. So, I mean, it just didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know. And you'd be surprised how many people don't know.
No, I have no idea, which I'm not a big basketball fan. Now, like March Madness, NBA, like the Pacers were in the finals. I watched that, but I'm more football, that kind of thing. I got thrown in. My brother, he did, it was like 8 to 10-year-old like basketball league, and they needed someone to run the score table, and so they called me up.
Sure.
And I said, oh, I can keep track of points.
Don't you worry about it.
The whole era, I was getting yelled at by the referee, and I told him, I said, I have never played basketball that is not pickup basketball at the YMCA.
Right. They were keeping score in our heads.
Right, exactly. Where it's like, is it 15? No, it's 16. We're arguing about it.
Yeah, right.
Right. Yeah, no, that was oof.
You ain't been yelled at till you sit at the scorer's table and the ball goes in and you're supposed to give them 2 points and you take longer than what the fans think it should take to give them 2 points. There's going to be an uproar.
Yeah, I think the fans think it's like the games at the arcade where the second it goes through, there's a point.
The computer's going to pick it up.
Right.
Yeah, it's just not like that. We're over here trying to find the right button.
Right. So. That's the thing, too. There's a whole board of all these buttons.
Don't give them 3 when they're supposed to give 2 either. Ooh, that's a big
I
no-no.
did that. Yeah, the mothers of the 8-year-olds were not very happy. Which, again, going back, like you said, the people who will stand behind on the stands and scream people. I don't.
Yeah.
Which again, I grew up in youth sports. My parents would always cheer for the good moments, but we would talk about the bad moments after the game and be like, I didn't like that, or that umpire was rude or whatever.
Yeah.
We've never been the one to scream from on the bleachers because at the same time I've seen videos where the umpires will leave.
Yeah.
I was like, all right,
why not?
Yeah, like I'm making $25 today.
Yep.
Like,
Here's your money back. I'll see you later.
Yep. Adios. You can do it yourself.
And when I coached baseball at Grace, I did it for about, I think 6 years.
And what age group is that?
High school.
High school. Gotcha.
Yeah. So the high school team, and I would have players. Maybe an umpire would, call a pitch that was low, call it a strike, and they would turn and, give the umpire a dirty look or say something or whatever it is. And, I would right away tell them, how do you have any room to talk when you missed a pop fly out to you?
Yep.
You dropped a pop fly. You didn't see the umpire looking at you like, what are you doing? And you don't want your teammates, to pick you up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a mistake. That's it. So when you don't catch a fly ball, it's a mistake. I know you didn't do it on purpose.
Right.
When an umpire calls a strike that was a ball, it's a mistake. He didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but it's tough. I'm amazed. I was approached at the gas station just not too long ago, and they knew that I refereed, and they came up to me venting about how they think Caitlin Clark's getting beat up, and they think that there's something I can do about it.
Right.
And said things like bad things, like I wish they would let a few of the fans sit outside of the officials' locker room, and when they come out, let the fans do what the referees are allowing happen to Caitlin.
Wow.
And I told my wife this. I said, it's amazing what people will do and what they will support because somebody scores a lot of points.
It's the whole Caitlin Clark thing has like, with the hate that's been going on, it has been crazy. Which my fiance is a big Caitlin Clark fan.
Sure.
She loves Caitlin Clark. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, you have to recognize the second they step off that court, they are normal people.
Yeah.
Sure, they make more money than us,
Mm-hmm.
which in WNBA, maybe even not.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Right, so, like, I think it's $75,000, something like that they're making, yeah. And so let them live their life. Like, why do their life does not, there's more to them than just what happens on the court.
Yeah, and I, not necessarily Caitlin Clark, but there's a lot of people that, are big fans of whatever the person is, Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal or Caitlin Clark, and they're big fans of them, and they're only showing the good parts.
Yep.
Listen, everyone has their faults. Everyone has their downside. Mm-hmm. And we just see that. So that's all we see. And they don't realize that, no, you know what? I bet Caitlin probably still has arguments with her dad, about, Dad, I don't want to do that. Or, mm-hmm. and, not to get off topic here, but, we're in a world where officials, basketball, baseball, whatever the sport is, are having to tell someone who makes $5 million a year, we'll say, on the downside, And the person who's telling them that they're right, wrong, or indifferent is only making 100,000.
Right.
It's something.
Right. So,
That $5 million person is never going to believe what that $100,000 person says.
right.
Ever.
Right.
So it's just hard for that to equal.
Right. I agree.
You know.
Well, and I also seen a lot of beefs, so to say, that happen on the court. They'll be best friends outside
Sure.
of the game. They're competitors.
They're competing.
It happens. It happens a lot more in football, from what I see.
Yeah, because contact, right?
Yeah, right. And so, someone gets rung in the head. They get up. They're mad. They're fighting. Then after the game, they're trading jerseys.
Yeah, right.
I think it's also part of competition. You know, same thing. My fiance gets pissed when I win a Monopoly.
Yeah.
You know, but she's still here.
Well, I will say that competition is good and athletics is good. It is very, very good. It is. It saddens me when I see schools that maybe don't have enough players, so they have to, can the sport for the year or whatever that is. So they don't have enough soccer players. So they don't have a soccer team. That saddens me because just to speak in that realm. So soccer, let's say boys soccer, you need 11. You can actually play with 7.
Right.
But 11 is a full team, and they cancel the program. And now we have, let's just say we had 10 guys that were going to play, but now we're not playing. So now we have 10 guys that are in high school that not all of them needed, but some of them still need a male presence in their life.
Yeah.
And now they don't have it for 3 months.
Yep.
They don't have a coach staying on them. Go turn your homework in, make sure you get that book report done. They don't have that. And then they wonder, when they're sitting in the school, like, I don't know why Billy's not doing very good. Well, because maybe Billy is staying with a single mom, whom maybe dad's out of the picture, and the only male figure that is around is the coach, and now he's not there either.
Yep.
So we need to have them. Whether it's, even if you say, okay, we're not going to have a team, but we only need 7, so we're still going to play 5 games.
Yeah.
So y'all still going to be out here practicing. You're going to be doing the things you're supposed to be doing. So that way, at least that coach can teach them how to be on time. I used to tell my kids all the time at parents' meeting in the beginning, I said, the worst thing, this is at a minimum, what's going to happen when you get done with my 4 years playing for me, you're going to be employable.
Yeah, absolutely.
You will be employable because you'll know how to show up on time. You know how to put in extra effort. You'll know how to take criticism. Those kind of things are going to happen, and they don't really happen in a science class.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. That's a great point too. I don't think that relationship importance is highlighted enough in athletics, period. When I played football in high school, there was a team that we played in Michigan City, and they had the exact amount of kids that needed to fill an offense, fill a defense, a kicker, and a punter. 24 kids. That was it.
Yeah.
And they'd come, and we would play them on like a Thursday night. It was a scrimmage game, and I remember all of us players hated it because we were like, we're going to go here, we're going to play this game, maybe get hurt, which I long snapped. So I saw the field for about 5 minutes a game, got my varsity letter, and moved on with my life. But with you saying that, that's a great point. We played those games because they didn't have enough kids to make a full team to play in a conference, but they still wanted their kids to come and play. And with Michigan City, I knew a lot of them from different events or camps we'd gone to. A lot of them didn't have dads for whatever reason that was. And that's a great point of those coaches. Even for me, I have a mom and a great stepdad, but they were the ones at the end of the day. I'm walking off the field and I'm talking to my buddies like, oh, let's go do this, go do that. And the coach is like, hey, your paper's due tonight, which sometimes it was for their class. So that also was,
sure,
they'd really get on me, but that was, the coaches did keep me accountable a lot. And when I stopped doing sports, because I went from sports to theater and now I'm back and like music, that kind of thing. Now I'm back way more in the sports thing. I'm trying to get into golf. That is the one sport that it's the sport where I can go out there, have a drink with some friends and suck. And it's not an issue.
I like golf a lot.
Do you? I
don't like how much it costs.
That's why I haven't started yet, is because for the clubs and on top of that, just to go play at a course.
Yeah. I mean, a guy like me, I used to golf. When I was younger, I would golf a little bit more often, but now I will golf maybe once a year.
Yeah.
If it's a really busy year, 3 times.
Right.
And if I go out one time, there's a real chance I'm going to lose 3 to 4 balls.
Yeah.
There's $20.
Right.
Plus the round. plus the hot dog and drink at the 9, right?
Right, or the cart.
Yeah, the cart. All those things. And plus, well, you're not very good, so you're not going to golf on the weekend. You're probably going to want to try and golf during the week when it isn't so busy,
right?
And now you're missing a day's worth of work or whatever that is. So I'm okay with it. Yeah, but I like golf. I really do. I think it's it's a fun sport. I enjoy playing. I play halfway decent.
Yeah,
but it's not worth the juice is not worth the squeeze for me.
Right. Yeah, my uncle and then my youngest cousin, which I think he's 7, they golf every week. He goes to lessons, does the whole thing, and it seems like it's a lot of fun. But it's the cost of it, because it's hard. Which it's hard to go to Goodwill and get a good set of clubs,
right? It is, to get a good set, you can get a set,
right? Yeah, one I try to do something decent with.
Yeah, right,
So. One of the other things that you do is you're part of a group called Ordinary Dads.
Ordinary Dads.
Which just
so you know, we could have skipped everything and talked about Ordinary Dads for an hour. Been fine by me. But no,
awesome, sweet. So Andrew, my coworker, probably knows a little bit more than I do about it. I had the chance to edit and listen to it, and first of all, you guys sound great.
Thank you.
It was fun to listen to, and also, with music, I was a music major. I majored in music production, so like studio, that kind of thing. And what I've learned with music is that music brings a lot of different emotions and feelings, and it doesn't necessarily have to be this top of the line produced, Emmy nominated song,
right,
to bring that happiness. And what you guys did was, first of all, it sounded great. But the most important thing was that the atmosphere, even through the video, you could tell everyone was happy, loved doing what they're doing, and it was fun.
Yeah.
So how'd you get involved with that?
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to go backwards 3 years. There was a young little girl, Gott is her last name. Why am I forgetting her first name? But it'll come to the top. She was struggling with cancer. And I'm a big Christmas. I just love Christmas. If you told me right now, hey, we're going to move Christmas up to August 25th, I'm like, all right, sounds good, brother.
Yep,
I'm just do it. So about maybe November, I talked to one of my friends and I said, wouldn't it be cool just to get a bunch of guys together and just record 5 or 6 just plain old Christmas songs, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, just ordinary Christmas songs, and see if we can sell these digital copies, for a donation, any donation they want to give, and we'll give it to the Gott family, to help with offset medical costs and get them some presents and stuff. Well, couple texts, couple phone calls. I've got 6 guys. I've got basically I've got my stepdad. I've got my son-in-law's dad, which is Rob, which is a really good friend of mine. I've got him. I've got his son, or his son-in-law, Nico, myself. And then I had a guy from Chicago who was a referee friend of mine. He came down, and then Dustin, and then Desmond. So I had 6 guys, 7 including me. And we just lined up at Journey Church over there on Walden Road. And we didn't have any practice. We didn't do anything. We just stayed there for about 2 hours, recorded these 6 songs, did as much as we could. And Chad Ozzie, my buddy, just, he cut it up and made it sound halfway decent. And we had an album and we raised $3,000.
That's crazy. Chad Ozzie, is that Caleb Ozzie's father?
Yeah,
cool. I went to ONU with him for a year or so.
Sure. Yeah. He's over in Mobile, Alabama now.
Yeah. Great singer.
He's singing there too.
Yeah.
So,
I remember when we did the Circle of Life from Lion King, and it was an 18-part a cappella piece, and he sang the lead, and man, it was sick.
Yeah. His sister can sing too, Caitlin.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She's very good too.
That's cool.
So anyway, we do this, right? And everybody's like, oh, good job. We raised a couple $1,000s. We give it to the Gott family. We have, Santa Claus, and it's the whole thing. And, baby Gott's happy. And, she had a smile on her face, and away we go. A year goes by, and I'm like, I gotta do something. I want to do something else. Right.
Yeah.
So then, again, September or so, I get a hold of Marla Barnard. I don't know if you're familiar with that name or not. So she helped run the KVT and Kankakee Valley, not KVT, but it was was some sort of group, singing group. She did those for a number of years. And I knew her from Rome Park Church. And I said, would you be willing to direct us? If I got some guys together, would you direct us? And she's like, yes, I'll direct you.
Sweet.
Again, sent out those 6 guys. I said, but listen, we're doing a live performance this time. We're going to have to practice. We practice basically once a week, first week of October, once a week in November, and then we perform the first week in December. Yeah. And we, so we do all that. And then I've got, I think we ended up with close to 20 guys. Wow. 15 to 20 guys. Now I do this. I do it ordinary dads. It's restricted to dads. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people ask me, well, why do you just do dads? And so for one, I believe men need to be shoulder to shoulder.
Yep.
And I believe dads take a lot of burden on themselves to support their family and to make sure everything's right for their family. So anytime a dad can get together, even just for an hour, and be around other dads, smile, laughing, and see something. And then dads want to help. That's what we want to do.
Yeah.
So we get a chance to help also and kind of, relax without spending, when you're talking about golf, without spending, close to $100 to go golf when I can go be with other dads and that have the same struggles that everyone else has, and they see it. So, yeah, we did that last year, and you saw that. It was, we did one performance on a Sunday night at like 5:00, and we raised over $6,000 to help with an adoption. Because I don't know if you know this now, when you have to adopt a newborn baby in the States, it can cost upwards of $30,000.
Wow.
Yeah. So we were raising money for that, so we raised $6,000 and we did that. So now here we are. I don't know when this is going to go out, but
it'll go out Monday.
Oh, well, geez. Well, so this is my call. If you are a dad, I don't care if you can sing or you can't sing. If you're a dad and you feel like, what I can give, it's basically 8 hours. Mm-hmm. It's an hour a week for 8 weeks, 8 hours, and then a couple hour performance days. So we'll call it 10 hours. And you want to help. We've decided that we're going to help. We're going to do 2 shows this year. So we're going to do a matinee. We'll call it 3:00. And then we're going to do an evening program, maybe 5:30 or 6.
Gotcha.
Okay. One will be at Aroma Park and the other one will be at Grace.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So we're going to do 2 separate sites. We're going to take all that money we raise, because we don't sell tickets. A penny can get you in.
Right.
It's free will donation. Whatever you want to give. You want to give $1, you're in. You want to give 100, you're in. We don't care.
Got you. So
we're going to do 2 performances, and that money is going to go to Pastor Chad Dalton's daughter has leukemia, and they're struggling, they just have a lot of medical bills picked up. So we're going to try and help with that. And then, of course, Holly Erickson, who we've already spoke about, we're going to give, Holly's really working hard at trying to get Bedford a playground that is accessible for Bedford.
Gotcha.
So he can climb and do all that stuff,
right?
But he can't get to the playground.
Yeah.
So when he gets out of the car, he needs somebody to kind of help him through the mulch and do all that stuff to get to where he wants to be. So we need to find a way to make that a soft but smooth area,
right? So
that Bedford can maneuver through there. So we're going to take that. We're going to split it right down the middle. We're going to give half to the Daltons, half to the Ericksons, and say, all right, let's go do it. So it's. I know you're not a dad, right?
No, 2 cats, but no, not a dad.
Okay, yeah. But and you saw it on video. Were you there for the live performance?
I was not.
Okay. No. The being part of it without going on a limb can change your life. Mm-hmm. Because you see people that are happy and joyous, and Christmas can be tough, right?
Yeah.
I don't have the money. I don't have this. I'm fighting with my parents. My kid wants a PS3. I can't afford it. Right. Whatever it is. And you stand up there and you sing really average. You know what I mean? Uh-huh. And it puts joy in their faces, and they're happy, and they had a good night. That's worth millions. And everyone who has done it so far, they always like, oh, I'm not doing it again because, it was, stressful. Right. Because they know they can't sing. Right. They know they're not that they can't sing, but they, just don't feel that great at it. And they get through it and they're like, man, that was the best thing ever. That was the best thing ever. And then I give them the summer off. I give them the whole rest of the winter, and then I'll send a text out, at the beginning of September, and I'll say, okay, this is it. This is what we're doing again. So, I like to live. I like to be a little whimsical.
Yeah. That's a good word for it.
Yeah. I don't like, oh, that seems too scary, so I don't want to do it. They have what they have, aim. Well, no, they got ready, aim, fire, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fire, aim, ready kind of guy.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Let's just do it.
Yeah.
How you gonna do it? I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
I don't know. That's the first thing my wife said. Well, where are you going to get people to sing? It's Christmas time. Everyone's busy.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I'll just figure it out.
I'm the exact same way, and which I do that a lot more with handyman work because my dad's a tradesman, so I grew up doing a little bit of everything, a doer of all, master of none.
Sure.
And so that's my mentality with most of that stuff, or even a job. It's
Mhm.
like when I got here, I knew only audio, but now I do video full time.
Yeah.
And then they said like, well, have you ever done this? I mean, have I done it? That's a loose term.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I've picked up a camera if that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
But
Right.
I also I struggle. I'm a yes man. I struggle to say no, even
Okay.
the stuff that I have no clue what to do. Like right
Mhm.
now, I'm redoing a deck and I'm resealing concrete.
Okay.
I've never done it in my life,
Yeah.
but I'll be darned if I don't figure it out.
Yeah. A couple YouTube searches.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? A couple mistakes.
Yep.
I said a long time ago, I love failure. I've fallen in love with it.
Gotcha.
Because when I fail, that means I've learned a few things. And when I do it again, I redid my deck. It's average at best.
Yeah, right.
It's average.
Uh-huh.
But I know the next time I do it, I've learned a little bit more and I know what else I'm going to do. And then I'll be able to do it even better.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's something about doing it yourself too, where
Sure.
there's a little bit of achievement. Like I'm trying to build, we got those like big black and yellow storage bins to store stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to build a container that hangs off the wall that we can slide them into, that kind of thing. And I've done measurements. I'm not a math guy.
Yeah.
I was a big science guy in school, but
Mhm.
math,
Yeah.
never been the thing. But it's been a lot of trial and error.
Yep.
A lot of saying, all right, well, I'll use a 2x2 and do this and
Yep.
cut it here and do that. And
Yep.
then I hang it up and I'm like, oh, that's backwards.
Not going to work.
Yep. Nope. Got it. All right. Let's restart. Do it again.
Yeah.
But it is fun. Failure is fun, especially in that facet of when you're doing something, whether it's for others,
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to singing and, getting that group, because it's a risk.
Yep.
It's
you have very much a risk.
You have I'm a big, like, here's this cool idea. Like, let's do it. But then finding people to come along with you with that idea and hop on board, it can be hard at times.
Yeah. It's very difficult. And because a lot of people, almost all of them will say, no, it's not going to work. I can remember to this day when I did my first Ordinary Dads, I called someone and told them my idea. And they literally said, it's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do it. It's too late. It's not, you need more time. All the things, right?
Right.
And 2 weeks later, I had it done.
Yeah.
And I love it when people tell me I can't do it. Oh, yeah. Watch. I love when people call me crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You're crazy. Watch. No problem.
Yep.
Mhm.
That is the most fun thing. My parents are very cautious people. Like they're not someone to shy me away from doing something, but they're the first person to be, what about this or what about that, or that kind of thing. And so my biggest saying now is, let me do it and suffer my own consequences.
Yeah.
Then let me go and make that mistake. I shouldn't go and get this new thing that I want. Okay, then I'm the one that's going to suffer that wrath at the end of the day, not you.
Right.
So let me figure that out, and then that way I know next time. All right, I'm not going to go buy a new game console because I need to pay my rent.
Right.
That kind of thing. So
well, and like with your storage container thing, everyone's second guessing. Listen, I've never seen anyone where you've been at the funeral and said, did you hear he died trying to build a storage container?
Right. Exactly.
It's not going to be life or death.
No.
You just may have to redo it, or you may give up altogether. Say it's not me.
Right.
I'll hire someone.
Exactly.
And that's okay.
Mhm.
But that generation kind of does. They're very. I don't think it's just your parents. I think they're all worried.
Right.
The older you get, the more you lock your doors, the more you watch. You get video cameras, and more you do all that stuff. So it's just very common. I've made a pact with myself that I won't do that. My son-in-law just took a new job, and he had a pretty decent job. He's in charge of my daughter, right?
Yeah, right.
He's like, yeah, I'm going to take, I think I'm going to take this new job. I'm going to go for it, man.
Yeah.
But it's better doing it now than be 20 years into a career.
Exactly.
And then now trying to dive into something else. So I'm okay with that.
That was me with this job. I mean, I came in with the idea of only doing audio. You know, this would be a good job to get my, you know, my toe dipped in the Kankakee area, and then I can venture out. But then all of a sudden, I just kept going. I kept learning, and I told them from day one, I said, I am not going to lie to you. Like, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed when it comes to this, but I promise you, by the end of next year, I will be better than you ever thought that I could be. You know, but you just give me some time. Let me figure it out. And yeah, the worry thing, I think for me, I've almost started to worry more about myself, and I worry way more about my fiance.
Sure.
You know, like when I lock the doors at night, I know that at the end of the day, if someone comes in and tries to rough me up, it's not going to go well for them.
Right.
But I'm worried about, you know, like right now, she's at home by herself doing whatever she's doing, probably cleaning up my mess. But you know, there's a thing. It's like, all right, lock the door. I'm heading out.
Yeah.
But me, I'm driving no seatbelt. I'm having the time of my life.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah.
But that definitely has been a thing. Even with my parents, they're worried a lot about me, and I tell them, like, I'm doing okay. But my goal now is to just provide for someone else.
Yep.
It's not about what I want to do or whatever. Like my goal since I picked up a video camera is to be a sports videographer.
Okay.
Like I wanna work in sports. I'm a big, like, I love the moments. So
sure.
Which I'm the nerd who will tear up whenever I, you know, see the Bears, you know, win a big game. But
Perry goes in for a touchdown.
Right. Or like when they had the double doink a couple of years ago, where, oh my gosh, that ruined my playoff season. But
talk about videography.
Oh yes, thank you. And so with that, my goal is to capture that moment of like what tugs that heartstring, so to say, you know. And with video, I've gotten the chance to do that even in a corporate setting. You know, with whether it's an interview, whether it's, you know, someone's promoting this new daycare, that kind of thing. How can I learn to capture those moments? Even if it's, hey, this kid is swinging on a swing. Yeah. Well, how can I make that look cool? You know, and that kind of thing. So, yeah.
Well, and I think some of it is, I've done enough video on my phone, right?
Right.
But it's, a lot of people don't even realize that you can make them look that good. Wow, that came out really nice. Because you know, when you're in your own head, you're behind enemy lines.
Yes. Oh my.
So
goodness. People
are in their own head all the time. I'm not going to be good. I'm going to look stupid. I'm going to look too short. I'm going to look too tall. My nose is going to stick out. All these things, and then you show it to them, the finished product, and they go, "Huh, that's not bad." Same thing with my gravestone cleaning. They hesitant to call me because they think it's too late.
Right.
It can't. There's nothing you can do about this. It's broke. You know. And I can, in a day, I can have it back to normal again. And, you know, and we do that. We get ourselves in an uproar about, oh, it's just not going to be good. Come to find out, it's really it's not what's unplugged in, or it could be just something very simple. So, I'm going to ask you a question. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, you're getting married, and I want to know, and this is probably going to be way off topic. Totally fine. When you get married, which is, you know, in a year or so, or 6 months, whatever that it looks like for you, the first thing, what's the first thing you're going to do as a husband?
That's a great question. I haven't thought about that. Besides honeymoon.
Obviously.
I think the first thing, which some of this is already happening, is we are one already as a couple.
Okay.
But I think everything in that realm of, like, whether it's finances, whether it's, you know, last name, that kind of thing, I think really making that all one. I think that's like that's a little more surface level. I think, like,
okay, let's put our money together. Let's put our furniture together. Let's do all that stuff.
Right. Gotcha. Not only are we Mr. and Mrs. Razor, but now also our financials are there. Our, you know, our names on everything. That kind of thing. And then I think, and this is already a thing kind of, but I think it may click a little harder, less of a physical thing, but the recognition of that, okay, like I am now the man in her life, 100%. Like her father is still there, obviously, but I think less of what am I going to do and more of my role changes. You know, my dreams are still my dreams, but they are much more dreams now,
right? Rather
than, okay, I'm going to go push this. Like I even now, like sports videography, and she's so big, she's like, go do it. You know, do what you want to do, travel, have fun. But I don't want to. And something that my dad told me is that her dreams are now more important. What she wants to do, her success is now my success.
Yeah, right.
And I think that which we moved in together about 2 weeks ago, and already there is a mind switch of like, I'm the first person to leave my underwear on the floor after a shower and move on. But now I find myself, I come home, I'm doing the dishes,
right,
doing the laundry, doing that kind of stuff. And so I think just really, not that obviously I'll care about myself, but I think it goes a lot more of her happiness and her success is
your wife's happiness is going to be way before your happiness.
Exactly. And it works in both aspects. One, she's fulfilled and I'm fulfilled. And two, she's happier.
Yep.
I
love coming home and seeing my wife happy.
Exactly.
It's a very, very good feeling,
thing.
So I'm going to go bigger. This is what I want to challenge you to do this.
Yeah.
When you get married, you can even do it now, really, but I want you to go sit down. It's going to be very morbid. It's going to seem very weird, but I want you to go sit down with a funeral director and plan your funeral.
Huh. Okay.
Plan everything. I went a couple years ago and I planned everything. I said, okay, I want to be cremated. I want to rent this box. I have a playlist on my Spotify. I have my clothes picked out. Sure. I have everything done. So all thing my wife has to do, she's going to be grieving, hopefully, right?
Right. Right. Hopefully, yeah.
It's like, whoa, it's over.
Yeah, finally.
But she's going to be grieving. So only she has to do is call the funeral home and say, Jeff Cross died, and they're going to take care of the rest.
Huh.
Talk about taking the pressure off your wife after you're gone.
Yeah, no kidding. Like the one,
because you never know what's going to happen. You feel like you're going to live to 90,
right?
But you could get in a car accident, in a week. You don't know what that's going to happen. So, and you don't always get that time to like, oh, I have an extended illness that is going to, cripple me and then eventually kill me. So I'll plan that. You don't know that that's going to happen. So that's going to be so much easier on your wife, your kids, all your relatives. And then you don't have to worry about it. They may change it if they want to change it, but you've done everything you can do to plan that. You don't even have to spend any money to do this.
Right. Just planning it.
You could just go and sit down with someone and say, okay, mine's going to be at Gentleman Funeral Home. And they can just, I'd sit down with them. And of course, the first thing she says to me is, you're awful young to be planning your funeral. I said, well, I don't know what's going to happen on the ride home tomorrow.
Right.
So I think we have to think like that because, as I said, I think I might have said it off mic, but I'm about my legacy. I want to know, if I've said it once, I've said it a million times. Now, I've spent 25 years officiating basketball, another 10 or so years officiating baseball, another sport and football, but I don't want to be buried in my referee uniform.
Yeah.
I was so much more than a basketball referee. So don't bury me in my basketball uniform. I want to leave a legacy that when you're like, oh yeah, that he did this, he did that, he did those things. Not, yeah, he worked at, A.O. Smith and that's all he did.
Yeah, great worker.
Yeah, great worker. Yeah. So I think that's a chance for you to really leave a legacy behind, and it's something you could set up really, really easy. And you don't have to worry about it. Yeah. And your wife's going to appreciate it if you go before sure.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah. That's fantastic advice. I do, and I've said this for a long time. I don't feel like I'm here to do one thing. I started off as a busboy waiting tables. I was a camp counselor for 5 years, and that was probably one of my favorite things I've done in my life is be a camp counselor. I worked at Camp Tecumseh in Brookston, Indiana, and I'd stay overnight there for 9 weeks of the summer. And every week you're staying in the cabin, new kids. And with that, a big part of me is the Christianity aspect to it. Because it's not only is it a camp, it's also a Christian camp. And really getting to like dive in with those kids and that kind of thing. That was really cool. And now I'm doing video, and I've learned to stop planning for what is next because
good.
There is when I'm like, all right, in 2 years, I'm going to do this. And all of a sudden I'm doing the exact opposite, and I'm just as happy as I would have been if I would have, whatever. I have a question for you kind of on the topic.
But I want to say this one last thing before you answer me that question is I don't believe in goals.
Gotcha.
I think what happens is when we set a goal and we don't reach our goal, what do? We beat ourselves up. If you set a goal and you don't reach your goal, me being a friend would be like, it's okay, we'll do something else, right? So I don't set them. I let it happen. Wherever it's going to go, I'm going to do this. Not my goal is to have, clean 100 headstones by the end of the summer.
Right.
I'm going to clean headstones.
Period.
If it turns into 100, great. If it turns into 10, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
But that's how I do it. So
Yeah.
go ahead.
So you talked a lot about like your son-in-law and how you guys get along with, especially like with his dad and that kind of thing. One of my biggest fears, I'd say probably the next 3 or 4 years, but the goal is to have kids. How do you, like, specifically your daughter, how do you trust someone to take care of her in that facet?
Well, that's a great question. And you never trust them. I don't believe that you trust the son-in-law. You trust the upbringing that you gave your daughter. So if you raise your daughter with certain, scruples and certain, ideas in life and what to expect out of a man, if she picked him, I raised her to believe that's a good man, then I'm not worried about what my son-in-law is doing, because I trust my daughter, because I trust the upbringing that I gave my daughter.
Yeah.
So that's where I started. I started with my kids. We start with my kids. They'll make good decisions, even though I get nervous sometimes. I mean, I'll be the first one to tell you when she started going out with this guy. I told my wife, I don't know. I don't know if he's a worker. I don't know. Just don't know.
Right. Yeah.
And, we discussed it, and it came down to it was we have to trust how we raised our kids.
Absolutely.
And, and I'll say that into my son's side, who, I coached him in sports, and he played other sports. I didn't coach him in all of the sports, but I coached him in some of the sports. And there was a conversation, there was a car ride that happened with my wife, my son, and then his fiance were all in the car. And his fiance, Kayla is her name, said, I called into work whatever day because I had kind of a long night the night before, so I just called in sick the next day. And my son spoke up and goes, yeah, I was raised, I had to go in anyway. And so that means that I've done my job. We've done our job to put these kind of ideas in their head. Said, listen, it's not acceptable to just call in because you had a tough night last night.
Yeah.
That's not how the real world works. So, and on my son too, just a different story. He was at college, he went to school at Parkland. He's a diesel mechanic and drives he's a heavy machine operator.
Cool.
But he was working, he was at school, and he was working for, I'm probably going to mess up, but I think it was Big R. One of those farm places, right? And they kept it, he was a good worker. They kept on wanting to get more hours. I got a class. I got to get my homework done. All these things are happening. And he called me and goes, Dad, I think I'm just going to have to quit, So, I mean, yeah, that's your priority is you got to get your degree. So I can see how you're going to have to do that, So he calls me, whatever, a week later. He said, I quit. And I asked him, I said, how'd that go? He goes, it was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. And that's what we want our kids to say.
Yeah.
Is quitting is the hardest thing I've ever had to do. I mean, think about that for a second. I was a proud dad for a moment, even though my son just quit a job.
Right. The fact that it was hard.
It was hard and very difficult for him. So those are the things I love. I love that about being a parent. I love that about having a family, and, I love that. And I can't wait to instill hopefully some of that on my grandkids.
Yeah, that's absolutely. I think about that even with this company of, my with what we've talked about, my fiance and I, we want to travel. That's kind of our big goal of our my parents have always said, like, go, like, there's 2 or 3 years when you don't have kids, you like we have our cats, but for cats, they could live on their own as long as they have food and water.
Sure.
But, to just go and adventure and see what that's like. And I've worked since I was 12. I rode my bike to the banquet hall that my mom worked at when she was 16. Worked for cash under the table,
nice.
Told her when I was 16, never
Don't
they
listen.
had.
Don't listen.
Yeah, no, sorry. Don't worry, Wendy. We're good. And so the thought of not working is terrifying to me. And on top of that, quitting a job like this, where not only is it a job that I enjoy, but these people are like my family. There's 7 of us that work at this company, and each of us have a very specific role. And if not, and I struggle with this at times too, with timeliness when it comes to editing, because sometimes stuff takes longer than others. For it all to work, each of us have to be in line and be on that right thing. And so when it comes to the day eventually where I will leave, we want to go to Tennessee. I love the Nashville area. Big country music fan.
That's where my son's at right now. It's for his bachelor party.
Oh, I cannot wait for my bachelor party. That's what we've been thinking, Nashville or wanting to go to Utah to the Badlands, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have only had to quit one job, and it was because I was going to school. But the rest of them were all seasonal jobs, like camp counseling. It's already coming back next year. You're not coming back.
Right.
And even that job, like I was 15 years old, and it's not, my mom kept saying like, it's fine. They're not gonna be mad at you. I'm not worried about them being upset. I feel like I'm letting down my teammates, whether even if it's just Jose who's busting the tables with me, it's like, well, he's got to pick my hours up now.
Yeah. Somebody's got to do it.
Right. Or, like when it comes to leaving here eventually, Andrew McBurney is my main coworker, and he's the cousin of my fiance at the same time. So there's this battle of I'm letting down my coworker, and on top of that, my friend and my family at the same time. And yeah, I didn't even think about that. The fact of that quitting is hard. That's a very great point.
And, I don't even like to think of it as work. I mean, I know we're punching in, somebody's paying us, and this is what I do. But, I want to ask myself, how can I add value? Where am I adding value at today? At my job or with my friends? So I want to add value. So you're here adding value. Andrew's here adding value. When you're gone, that value is taken away.
Yeah.
Or it needs to be absorbed by someone else.
Right.
And everyone has their own value to add. So when you leave, not that someone can't do what you're doing,
right? But
it probably not going to be like you do it.
That's what happened with Jake. Like you don't, which you do recognize it, but when someone leaves, you really recognize, wow, like Jake was putting so much time and effort and love into what he was doing. So then, to see Jake's passion for it and to see him then pursue another venture, not only is that hard for him to leave, but also the motivation then to move back into something he did previously, which is radio.
Right.
It's very commendable. And especially now that I'm the one who is, which it's a team. I don't want to claim that I'm the only person that does this stuff. It's a whole team.
Everyone's a spoke in the wheel, right?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I have even more appreciation now. It is because my job went from something where it's, we don't have like a set schedule, so to say. It's more of we have deadlines to meet. Sure. So, hey, you can come in at 8 p.m. if you want, but it's got to be done by midnight for the next day. You know? Yeah. And now this has turned more into a 9 to 5. I come in, I have my schedule, I have my routine, whether it's I do this and do that. And it's been a big adjustment because I used to find that enjoyment in that flexibility, that happiness of like, hey, I'm going to work, but my fiance wants food. Cool. Yeah. I'll head home and we'll make some food. And now I have responsibility. I have the realization of even that, this podcast will not get released unless I edit it and I upload it.
Right.
And it's been fun, but nerve wracking at the same time.
So like with Jake, this is where I think we all fail, myself included, is we never give the accolades until it's too late.
Yep.
We go to a funeral and we tell all these great things about it.
Yep.
But why did you not pick up the phone and call so-and-so and tell them how great this was or how great that was or what you mean to me? And that's what happens when someone quits or pursues something else. Then we go, oh, geez,
right.
Why, I'm going to miss you for this. I'm going to miss you for that. Why didn't you say that when I was here?
Yeah.
Not that Jake would have stayed. Not that
right,
Jake,
right. Yeah.
But that's just what happens with when we do when we're working with them day to day, where you just get caught up in that grind.
Right.
And forget to tell them, you're adding value here.
Yeah.
You are most definitely adding value, and don't forget that. So
that was one of the most important things. So we did a farewell episode for him where he was the guest and Andrew and I hosted, which was totally weird because we're so used to it being flipped. But that was one of my biggest things. And, whether it's cringy or weird or awkward at times, that was my biggest thing. As I told him, I made him sit here and listen to me. And I told him everything. I'm like, you are the reason that this podcast is here.
Yep.
And I will stand on that to this day. The reason that it's like the reason it's still going is because my goal is not to create my own content necessarily. It is to keep pushing along what Jake has created.
Yep.
And it's very nice that there's still a good relationship there. I to this day I text Jake, I'm like, hey man, how do we do I do this? Or I'm also the host of the news, and the one thing I cannot do is read aloud, but I read a script every single Thursday night. And so all the time I'm like, Jake, how do you do this?
Yeah.
Like the grind or the same thing or whatever, it's been but I've been blessed for sure.
Some people are really good at just reading and make
I know.
it sound like they're talking.
Yep.
And not me. I'm
not
like,
me either. You can.
What was that word again? You know,
Right.
start over again.
Yeah. Or this 9-minute news podcast episode is actually 45 minutes of me stuttering. Or my fiance makes fun of me so much. We had to put my desk in the living room, so whenever she's going to bed or whatever, you can't hear through the they because I'll say they can't keep, and then I get mad, take a drink of water, and then I repeat it again. But
that's great. 45 minutes to do 9 minutes worth of news.
Right, and then I have to cut it. I have to cut everything. And again, I listen. I would be here while Jake recorded the news, and the news episode was the amount of time he was in this room.
Crazy, isn't it? It's very natural.
Could not be me.
I like to use the phrase, you said I can't do, or I presently struggle with.
Yeah, that's good.
Presently struggle with. You know,
I've been working on that because that's something that my fiance heard a lot in her family was, I can't do this, I can't do that. Yep. And it's
bad.
It is bad. And it's crippling. You don't realize it until you get called out.
Yeah.
You're like, well, you're right.
Well, if I say I can't, then the people around me go, yeah, I guess you can't.
Right. Yes. Yeah, you're right.
We're there. Yeah.
Right.
You know, but I'm struggling with this right now. I'm not very proficient in it right now. You know, whatever that is, knowing that if I get more reps and I get more reps,
right.
You know, Jake didn't wake up and, you know, his first book wasn't, he didn't read it like he was on the news.
Right. No, he did. I think it was exactly 200 episodes.
Yeah.
And he talked about it. It took till 150 till he was like, all right, I know what I'm doing now. And it's natural and that kind of thing. And that's given me confidence when it comes to hosting as well.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, I wanted to be the center of attention. I wanted to be singing and dancing and, and playing football and tackling people. And now that I've grown up and, been with my fiance and stuff, I want to be behind the scenes.
Interesting.
What brings me joy is helping someone create a product that they maybe couldn't do because they didn't have the same knowledge that I have.
Yeah.
And then giving it to them and letting them have their thing, because I know that I had a piece in that. They know I did, but the whole world doesn't know.
Right.
That. Whether it's a TikTok or whether it's like my brother, he plays varsity football, and so this season I'm going to go there for Friday Night Lights and get photos and video and that kind of thing. I don't want to be marketed as Jake's brother.
Sure.
I want to be marketed as the photographer,
right? The
videographer. Yep. You can give me photo creds if you want as a tag, but I have just learned everyone enjoys being told that they did good.
Yep.
But I learned that I was working for that. I was not working to be better. I was not working to give someone a product. I was working to be told I was good.
Yeah.
And so once I learned that, I completely took a step back. And not in like I wanted to. It wasn't like I need to check myself. It was more of a conscious decision to kind of take a step back and try to help others with their product more rather than trying to make my own product. And it's not only is it more fulfilling to me to give somebody else something, it's more fun. It's less of, wow, like my voice sounds awful there, or oh, like man, that haircut I just got is rough,
Yeah.
But yeah, I find a lot of my fulfillment in helping others, which sounds cliche, but
I think for me, I'm with you 100% on this. I would much rather, so if I had a choice between the two, my boss giving me a compliment on how good a job I'm doing, or someone that I helped achieve something, that's what I want.
Yep, someone I may have never met
My
before.
boss can tell me I'm doing great every day of the week.
Right.
I help one person reach the next step of what they're trying to do. That means so much more to me.
Exactly. And I guess I'm not even too sure why that it is that way for me, but there is just something about,
it's a good trait.
Yeah, there's just something about like, man, like if I can lift you up, that lifts me up at the same time.
Yep.
And I even thought with that, it's like, am I doing this because it makes me feel good? But at the end of the day, I trust myself, and I know that it is so much more fun to be on top with others than it is to be on top by yourself.
Right.
Like, these people who have millions and millions of dollars, sure, they're billionaires, but at the end of the day, do they have those strong connections?
Right.
Do they have those friends, or did they have to push them aside to get to where they're at?
Yep.
And that's how my fiance and I live. We're making decent money. We both work full time, but do we stress about finances and pennies here and there? Yes, we do. But something that we don't stress about is we're going to spend more money and get our parents that gift they want, or we're going to spend that money to pay for the hotel to go on vacation with our parents because we want to go drop that money? Not necessarily, but we understand that one, we're going to have fun either way. And two, that means a lot to our families or the people that we are putting that into. Yep. We definitely went through a 6-month period where we're like, no, we're not doing anything. Like, it's just us. We're going to do this. And then we took a step back and we're like, that's not us. We're not those people.
Yeah.
And kind of ground ourselves again of like, who do we want to be as people? Do we want to be the ones who are known of, they don't go to anything, they show up when they want to, that kind of thing? Or do we want to be looked at as these people who are going to put others before ourselves, as well as if we do this our entire lives, we're not just going to change when we have kids.
Right.
And we don't want to have kids that are spoiled brats at the same time. So if we're being spoiled brats, they're probably going to be spoiled too. And so we've definitely taken a little shift.
And I think that'll even change when you do have kids.
Yeah.
Because at least for our family, my mother-in-law, who was retired when we had Natalie and Rayleigh, so they were 18 months apart, but they were still in school. But my mother-in-law was retired, so she would come and pick them up after school. We would drop them off at school. She'd come pick them up, basically get them home, get their homework done, feed them a little dinner, and then we'd get off work and we'd come get them, and we'd do that. So all that worked. She was very integral in raising our kids.
Yeah.
And then mother-in-law gets sick, and you got to help her. You got to help her, get through some doctor's appointments and stuff like that. And someone said to me, "Well, Jeff, that sure is nice of you." I said, "What do you mean?" Yeah. She practically raised our kids.
Yep.
That's the least I can do. That's the bare minimum.
Yep.
So when you realize how much as grandparents tend to help, you'll want to give them as much as you can.
Yeah.
So
that is to a T my grandparents as well. I have Mimi and I have Papa Joe.
Yeah.
And I'll say this till the day I die. The only reason that I got to sports practice, the only reason that I learned my times tables was because Mimi would sit me down and she would be like, "You're going to study your sevens.
Yeah.
You're going to figure it out." And Papa Joe's take me to Dick's Sporting Good, getting my girdle, getting everything I need.
Right.
And I remember, as I, hit my like early teens, they'd be like, "Hey, can you help us do this?" It's like, "Oh, I don't want to do that."
Right.
And my stepdad sat me down and he said, "Listen, they have done more for you and more for our family than anybody ever will.
Right.
So if Papa Joe needs you to come carry a basket of clothes downstairs, you're going to drive 20 minutes and go and do that." And it's crazy because now I say the exact same thing to my brother who lives there, where, because he's the popular kid, football, doing all this stuff, going to concerts, and I tell him, because I'll drive an hour and a half back because he's like, "Hey, I need to change brakes on my truck. Can you help me?" 100%. Do I learn something? Yes. And I get to hang out with my grandpa.
Right.
And that's always a good time. Usually there's food involved. So it's
usually
right. So I get cheeseburgers. I learn something. I get to hang out. Great.
Yeah.
But that has been the biggest thing with my grandparents, recognizing that without them, I would not be where I'm at today, nor would my brothers or my parents. And it would drive me crazy as a kid. But my grandma, she'd show up to my house while I'm at school. All of a sudden I come back, all my clothes are folded.
Right.
And it's, and you take it for granted. Now where like when I was in college, I had like my dirty clothes corner, and my roommate Isaiah, who's going to be the best man at my wedding, he'd always tell me, he's like, "Dude, you just got to fold your clothes." And I'd tell him, like, I can't. I'm so used to my grandma coming over and doing it. I had to man up there for a little bit. Yeah. But yeah, I think grandparents at times can be taken for granted,
Well, yeah, and we get frustrated. It's very easy, My mother-in-law, she's great. She's 90, going to be 91 in October, and still gets around, still drives, still very, very on her own. She lives on her own, but she'll call and say, "Hey, I can't figure this remote out."
Right.
Now, I could huff and puff and try and talk her through it, but I was like, "No problem. I'll be right over to fix it."
Yeah.
For you. And I can just fix it. My washer's not working right. I think I need a new one. Well, let me look at it,
Right.
And we fix it. And now she doesn't have to buy a new washer. All those things, it's real simple things to do. And even if I couldn't fix the washer, or even if I couldn't fix the remote, the fact that I came over and tried means so much to her.
Absolutely.
We're doing a disservice to our grandparents by not calling them, by not. You're like, why can't my grandma just text me? Well, because grandma doesn't text.
Right. Grandma calls.
Yeah. Grandma calls, grandma still got the home phone. So it's our job to still, communicate with them in the way they want to be communicated.
Mm-hmm.
We can't expect our older generation to start communicating the way we do. Sometimes they do.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I'm not a big fan of TikTok and Instagram, but I did it. I know the reason I got social media, all of them, all the social medias, is because my kids were teenagers and I knew they had them.
Right. Exactly.
So I said, okay, at least let me see what they're seeing.
Yeah. Right.
So that's why I had it. And then I, got lucky.
Right. And then now we're here.
Oh, yeah. How come you're not posting TikToks, honey?
Yeah, right. Come on.
Let's go.
Yeah, we haven't posted it yet.
Yeah, right.
Right.
So I want to ask you this. Do we got time or no?
Yeah, we got time. Probably like at most 20 more minutes.
Okay.
But.
So I wanted to ask you this just because I always like to ask this of people that I meet.
Mm-hmm.
What's your perfect day?
Perfect day. All right. Do you want like specifics?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Give me. Wake up in the morning.
Yep.
Now
right.
what?
Yep. So wake up in the morning. Got my cats on either side.
Okay.
When we're married, the wife. And then wake up, no breakfast.
So you got the cats by both sides. So you're gonna have a little pet and purr session, or
probably. Yeah. We'll wake up. I'll be like, I'll say hi to the kids.
Yeah. Kiss mama.
Yeah, right. Yeah. One of them is, we have a boy and a girl. Mila is the girl, and she's 3 months old right now. We got her like 3 days ago. And then we have AJ, who's my fat boy. I've had him for about a year now. And so each of them like different kinds of pets. I'd pick up the girl and I'd pet the boy, walk out to the living room, and I'd sit on the couch and I would turn on the fan and I lay there and I have 20 minutes of silence.
Nice.
20 minutes where I'd have to myself to pray, to sleep longer, I have killer ADHD, so I'll think about 10 million things in that 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then
what time is this?
10:30.
So you're gonna sleep till 10:30 in the morning.
I'll sleep till I'll wake up 9:45, have 15 minutes of like wake up, go back to bed, wake up, go back to bed. I don't know why I enjoy it.
It's your perfect day. You're allowed to do that.
And then I should have added in between the petting the cats, going to the couch, there's about a 20-minute bathroom break where I let everything happen that needs to happen.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll shower. It depends on how hot it was the night before. If it was too hot in the house, I'll shower, whatever.
Right.
Go out there, spend that time. And then hopefully at this time, my fiance, she's an early riser, so she'll probably be up too.
I'm going to stop you just because shower, for you, a shower is, what's the perfect shower? 5 minutes in and out? Or are you a 15, 20 minute hang out in the steam kind of
I'm
person?
a 15, 20 minute hang out in the steam. Because I have a lot of like muscle in my back that are always tight, so that kind of helps loosen them up a little bit. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
You'll just hang out in there.
Stare at the floor and let all the water just silence.
All right. Didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
okay, now I'm good.
And so hopefully my fiance's up, give her a kiss. I get her comfortable. That is only on weekends though. During the week, she comes home from work. She wants to go. She wants to do. I learned this actually last week. She's not stressed when she comes home, but she's motivated. So she wants to work until she's done with her stuff. Where I'm the opposite. I come home for a little bit. I'll sit for 30 minutes, get up, keep going.
Gotcha.
But anyways, I get her comfortable. Friends on the TV. Her favorite show in the world is Friends. I love it. I'm getting into it.
Woo,
it's
I love
funny.
some Friends, man. Listen, I'd like to have a Friends trivia contest.
Yeah,
me and your wife would get along well.
Oh, absolutely. She's addicted to Friends. Turn on Friends, and then I grill.
Okay.
One of my favorite things to do. My grandpa got me a grill as like a housewarming gift, and
so like a regular grill or like a Blackstone?
A regular grill.
Okay.
I believe,
gas or charcoal?
Gas.
Okay.
I believe that I'll get a Blackstone when I have a home. They can go like on the deck, that kind of thing.
Yeah, sure.
We call it, the joke my family, it's a rite of the passion of being a man.
Yeah.
You can get you can only be gifted the Blackstone. You cannot buy it.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Fair enough.
So I grill usually burgers.
Okay.
I'm a burger guy or chicken wing. And then I'll eat that.
Medium rare, medium well, overdone.
Burgers, medium rare. I like steak rare.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, but burgers, medium rare.
Okay. Cheese?
Yeah, Swiss cheese.
Really?
Yep. Toasted buns on the top rack of the grill.
Oh, yeah.
With the Irish cream butter.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about Kerrygold?
Yep.
Okay, Kerrygold butter. Nice. So, is it just cheese or you got mustard, ketchup?
I do, and this kind of depends on where the taste buds are at. I do bun, cheese on the bun, But if you flip it over and let it toast on the side on the top for a second, that is good.
Melts the cheese. Yeah.
Then I do burger, another piece of cheese, double
Top
cheese guy.
and bottom. Yeah. I don't blame you.
I'm a big double side kind of guy.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
And then ketchup, mustard, sweet dill relish, or not sweet dill, sweet relish.
Okay.
Heinz from the squeeze bottle. It tastes better in my opinion.
Your relish has got to come from the squeeze bottle.
Yep, it does. And here's why. Because whenever you scoop it out of the jar with the spoon, there's so much juice on it that your burger gets soggy.
Good point.
So what you do is you shake it up and all that stuff gets spread out.
Sure.
Boom, and you do that is only a top bun activity because if it goes on top and bottom, no matter what, it's going to be soggy.
Yeah. Okay.
Then I do mustard on the bottom, ketchup on the top.
Okay.
I do ketchup on the top because I eat ketchup on a stupid amount of things. Eggs, bacon, burgers, hot dogs, whatever.
Yeah, put it all.
Yeah, exactly.
Put it on my shoe, I'll eat it.
Right, exactly, right. My grandpa told me he almost let me eat it on pancakes. My mom was like, nope, we're stopping there.
I draw the line.
Yeah, so mustard on the bottom because there's more mustard than I like ketchup on burgers specifically. So if you got too much on top, the top bun will slide off.
Yeah.
Towards the bottom, vice versa.
Pretty frustrating, right? Yep.
And then onion, and then
grilled or raw?
Raw.
Ooh.
Raw, cut up, circular. And if I'm feeling spicy, I'll dice them up. Get like the McDonald's style small onions.
Yeah.
And then this is where it gets 50-50. Lettuce at times.
Okay.
I gotta have like a fresh piece of a slice of lettuce, not the shredded crab, not the Jimmy John's lettuce. Like I need an
actual leaf lettuce that's cold
that I bite and it crunches.
Yep,
that kind of thing.
Fair enough. Yeah.
And then I'll put it together, and then if I'm feeling real cool, I'll put a stick through the middle of it because sometimes they do get messy with all my fixings on it, and so I'll put a stick through it, and then I lied. I cut it in half.
I was going to ask you, cut it in half?
I cut it in half. I think it's easier to eat. I think it's easier to stay together. So toothpick on each side.
There you go. Yeah.
And then Arby's curly fries in the air fryer. Oh. They got them at Aldi, and I'm telling you, they're better than the real things.
Really?
Yep. And I got a bottle of Arby's sauce too.
Well, yeah, that's everything you need there. Yeah. I love a good curly fry.
Oh, they're really underrated, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
And then.
So that's lunch, right?
Yeah, that's lunch.
Your wife's gonna have the same, probably.
Yeah, she kind of eats. She's a very picky eater, and so she's been trying a lot of new foods. So her burger's probably got ketchup, mayo on it only. Still 2 pieces of cheese. But
I'm telling you right now, mayonnaise is a must on burgers.
Yeah, see, it's got to be. So I don't like mayonnaise on smash burgers. But I like mayonnaise on thicker burgers, if that makes sense. I don't know why. Yeah. It's just my little thing.
I never knew I liked mayonnaise on burgers until I had a Wendy's.
Yep. That's where I figured out, too.
I'm like, oh, this is good.
But, like, Wendy's mayonnaise to burger ratio is perfect, in my opinion. The Baconator, game over.
All right, so we got lunch in, right?
Yeah, got lunch in. And then I'm not a big video game guy, but I'll play, like on a perfect day, I'll play an hour of video games. Okay. I'll play NBA 2K. I'm a big Madden guy or college football 25.
So I'm not a video game guy, but I know that you can either play by yourself or you have people come in online.
Yeah.
How are you playing it?
By myself.
Okay.
Because you can play online. I have 2 or 3 friends my brothers will play, and we'll play like Fortnite, which is like a shooter game, that kind of thing. But I like to play games that I can pause whenever I need to because my fiance is a big Drew, and so I pause, get up, come back, pause, the whole thing.
So an hour video game could be 2.
Right, exactly, yeah. An hour's relevant,
Yeah.
And then after that, I go to the gym.
Okay.
I've been flaky recently, but when I go to the gym, it does not fail to make every day better. I'm more awake. I'm more with it. I'm sharper. I'm not stuttering as much. My words aren't slurring. The whole thing.
But you're a gym in the afternoon kind of guy.
Oh yeah. And maybe it was football, the 4:30 a.m. workouts.
Yeah.
Where I'm waking up and driving to school on my moped, 50-degree
Well, you're not
weather.
getting up till 10, so
right, exactly.
I mean, even if you went first thing in the morning, that's still like 11 o'clock workout.
Right, exactly. So. Well, and I'd say I'm in the gym more often than not at midnight, 1 a.m.
Planet Fitness, I'm assuming?
No, I go to Fitness Premier.
Okay.
My former roommate that I just moved out with 2 weeks ago, he's a personal trainer there.
Okay.
So I got discounts on all that
Nice.
stuff, but very nice gym. I'd go to the gym, and then I'd come back, and then I'm watching something with my girl. Something because
Besides Friends.
Yeah. So we have like 3 shows we're watching. We're watching Ted Lasso right now.
Okay. Good show.
What else are we watching? We're watching You on Netflix.
Never heard of this one.
Not my show. And then she loves reality TV. So Love Island right now.
Oh, well, I'm not quite there.
I'm not there. I like a show called Love is Blind, where they get it's a marriage thing. It's a little more commitment, a little less just showing skin kind of thing.
Yeah.
We'll watch that, and then I usually play with the cats. Especially with the kitten. The kitten is the most rambunctious, energetic thing in the world. So play with them. And then something outside. Whether it's we just go sit in the garage and just hang out and talk, or we go for a walk or that kind of thing. I think it's important for me to just get some vitamin D.
Yeah.
Have the sun, that kind of thing.
When you go outside, so you're gonna go for a walk with your wife.
Mm-hmm.
You guys will talk then, or you have headphones in?
Talk. Yeah, we are big talkers, and
Will you bring your phones with you, or you leave them at
home? Usually one of us has it.
Just in case?
Yeah, just in case kind of thing. If I fall over, keel over, someone's got something. But my
husband was walking. He didn't make it.
Right, exactly. I used to be so attached to my phone. I forget my phone everywhere now because we talk so much. Good. And the only person that I really got to get a hold of at the end of the day is usually her.
Yeah.
So if she's next to me, like today I went on a 3-hour haircut adventure. Phone was at home the whole time. And I didn't realize it until we were leaving the last haircut. And I was like, where's my phone? And she checked it. Oh, it's at home. All right. Well,
Life 360 or whatever.
Yeah, Life 360. Yeah.
So you go for a walk, get back, maybe a half hour or so walking. And sit out in the garage.
Yep. If this is the perfect day, we're finishing off with Yankees for dinner.
Interesting.
The Yankees barbecue pulled pork sandwich, I think, is the most slept on sandwich in this town.
Really?
Or the hot dogs. I'm not a big boiled hot dog kind of guy. Yeah. I like to grill it. I like to char, that kind of thing.
Sure.
So the boiled hot dogs kind of make my stomach feel weird, but I will get 2 deluxe dogs for $3.
So I've been to Yankees, but usually I just get the hot with the whatever the sauce is.
Yeah.
And the hot dog.
Yeah.
The red hot.
Yeah.
A red hot, and then I'll get a thing of cheese on there.
Gotcha.
So,
yeah.
But I've never had the barbecue.
So I didn't either. It was a day. I'd say once a month, my fiance and I will have we'll call it date day, where date day, where we'll get up, we'll do our stuff in the morning, and probably around 2:00 we'll start day drinking. We'll have a beer, we'll have a little mixed drink, play board games, that kind of thing. And so it was one of those days, and Yankees is so close we can walk. And so it's about half a mile of a walk. And so we had been hanging out. Our friends had come over during the day. So we had been drinking, and I was like, man, I could really use some Yankees. And so, but I'm weird, and so we're walking. I'm like, I'm gonna get something I've never had from there before. So I got fried pickles, I got barbecue sandwiches, I got the sauce bun, the whole thing. And I only got one sandwich, and I walked back to get another one because they were so good. But it's is it the greatest pulled pork of all time? No. But for $4,
sure,
it's the greatest pulled pork you can get for $4.
$4 can't beat it,
right? Especially if you've had a couple drinks and you just want to go home and sit in the couch and have a sandwich. Man, it is exactly what you need.
Yeah.
But then come home, we eat together. We talk during the meal, and then usually we have 45 minutes to an hour where I catch up. I watch Pat McAfee on YouTube a lot.
Sure.
I watch Pat McAfee. She'll watch more Friends. She'll watch Game of Thrones. So we have this little time of we call it our time to rot, where we've been together all day. We just kind of want to watch TikTok. We kind of want to just lay there. So we're next to each other, or we're in the same room or whatever. We're doing our own thing. And then after that, I don't go to bed early. As you know, I wake up.
I'm just telling my wake up time.
Right, wake up time.
I'm no detective, but I think I can figure it out.
Right.
Yeah.
And so normally she does her nightly routine. I will do a couple things. And this is still a perfect day.
Yeah.
I'll do a little work.
Okay.
I do love my job. It is fun, and I'm learning something every single day.
Yeah.
So I'll do that while she showers and gets ready or whatever. I'll clean the litter boxes, do that thing, and then I like to end the night playing a little bit of guitar.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew you said you were into music.
Mhm.
So are
Nothing-
you a bass guitar or acoustic? All right.
The goal is to play Freebird before I can die. That is my goal. But I'm only acoustic right
Bucket
now.
list.
I call myself a campfire guitarist.
Okay.
Everything that I know, I taught myself.
Okay.
During COVID, I found this old dark green guitar in my attic. And my mom was a nurse, so she was living in South Bend because she was one of like 5 nurses taking care of 80 people.
Sure.
My dad is a tradesman and knows nothing about kids' homework, so he was usually arguing with my brothers about homework.
Yeah.
And so I picked up the guitar, and when I really got into it, my family is not no one's a musician besides me, so everyone wanted me to play all the time.
Sure.
It's like, you're coming home, bring your guitar.
Yeah.
Sing it. Like my mom, her favorite thing is to have a glass of wine and me play songs and us sing together, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it, but it turned into a chore. You know, similar to how music kind of became in school. When you do it so much, you can't enjoy it. So kind of like sports with reffing. It's
I'm off, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's I'm off, and so I know, like when I was in college, I started playing guitar for worship bands, or I do jazz combos and stuff. And my parents would come home and be like, play the guitar. I'd be like, heck no, I just played the guitar for 48 hours this week. I'm done. But now that I live my own, it's much more of a me thing now. I write music. You know, some of the crappiest songs you'll hear, but like I'll spend time. I'll write a country song, or I'll write just a little thing for myself. And
so when you play the acoustic guitar, is it with a pick or with just with your thumb?
Depends on the song. So I'm much more of a pick guy.
Okay.
I think that I like the crispness of the sound. I know exactly what's coming out and the exact noise of it, the whole thing.
Okay.
But depending on the song, but I'm more than not a pick guy. But I use soft picks, so that way it's not as loud.
Oh, okay.
Because I like different pick thickness, different sounds.
Sure.
Like at night, I use a soft one because my fiance could care less I'm playing guitar, but the later it gets, the upstairs neighbors might get a little mad. So a little bit of that.
What is a song that you could play? Like if I just threw a guitar in your lap right now, what is a song you could play with?
Wagon Wheel, Darius Rucker.
How's that go?
So rock me, mama.
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
That is so.
You can do that one.
Oh yeah, that's the go-to song for everything.
That's probably a really good campfire song.
Yep. A song by the Black Keys. Little Black Submarines. Little Black Submarines, operator, please.
Oh yeah.
That song.
Yeah.
There's a lot of songs that you can just play. You can play the same 4 chords and they all fit.
Yeah. Could you do Happy Birthday if you needed to?
No, that song is stupidly hard on guitar.
Well, I suppose it probably is.
I didn't realize it's like 6 chords, but they're all bar chords. So I'm holding all the strings with this finger and then trying to play.
So maybe you could do it like, rock me a happy birthday to
exactly. Yeah, I can play random chords, different key, make it work.
We'll put happy birthday to that. Yeah.
Yeah, that, and then I do piano as well.
Okay, good.
Which that part of the reason I do piano is because that was a part of my major classes.
Mm-hmm.
Now that was the one class that I hated out of all of them, is playing piano. I can play chords, I can do songs that way, but when I gotta do 2 different things with different hands.
Yeah.
I can do this and this, but trying to do.
I can't do. I don't even know what a note is. When we did Ordinary Dads, they're like, "Okay, Jeff, watch your pitch." I'm like, "What's pitch?"
Right. Yeah.
I'll watch it, but I don't know what it is.
Right. What? Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, this is a high whatever. I'm like, I don't know what a regular whatever is. So this B flat. I don't know what B. I don't know what B normal is.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I when I did Ordinary Dads, they literally had to stick me between 2 people that sang good.
Oh, okay, I got you.
I mean, very much like the Andy Griffith episode. Turn his mic off, but I could hear them singing and I could sing the way they were singing.
Right.
I could do that. But if you were to ask me to do a solo and go, okay, I'm out.
Right. So here's your key. Start it.
Yeah.
Right. No, I get you.
I could probably speak a song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I could speak like the Old Rugged Cross or something, but I don't think I can sing it. I know it well. I'd be very, very difficult.
I get you. Right. I get you. Yeah.
So no late night TV, like Jimmy Fallon, anything like that?
No,
You get to play your guitar.
play my guitar. Trying to think. I enjoy. I'm not a big TV guy. I grew up racing motocross, doing sports, being outside. So where my fiance was the opposite. Every night, their first family would sit down and watch a TV show or watch a movie together.
Yeah.
So with that, all the TV shows that I enjoy, we're watching together. So I watched Netflix documentaries.
Yeah.
That is the one thing that I'll watch on my own.
They're on fire right now.
Oh, they're great. And they're so dramatic and they're keeping me tied in.
Yeah.
I watched this show. This is the answer. There was a show and I would watch it again. It was called 60 Days Out of Lockup. Okay. And what it was this, I'm not sure the term for it. It was a prison block that could only be out for 1 hour a day. And otherwise they're in confinement.
Ooh.
So this guy, they called him the sheriff. He came in and he opened the doors 24 hours a day. And if the people, so they would deliver the food to the whole thing, but if they wanted the food passed out, they passed it out. If they wanted to figure out to solve an issue, they had to figure it out. The whole thing. And so they started off, they're making alcohol and they're doing this, that kind of thing. And then you watch them slowly create this community. And every time that there's a big mess up, they lock them back up.
So I'm thinking I'm hearing this right. It starts off as basically they only get out 1 hour a day.
Yes.
A new sheriff comes in town and says, you guys are just out the whole time.
Yep.
I'll only lock you up when you mess up.
Yes.
Wow.
So, and
it worked?
It took until the last episode where they eventually were like, okay, we get it because it's 8 episodes and it's over a 60-day period.
Yeah.
But it's all different walks of life, different races, different cultures. And so to also see that come into play at the same time of these people think that they're tough stuff. Well, then this gang thinks this, or, you're not going to disrespect the leader, so to say,
Sure.
but you watch them make a democracy in there. They're voting, they're making rules for themselves and the whole thing, because their whole thing was they went from being locked up 23 hours a day to now having this freedom, we're making friends. This is livable now.
Right.
Rather than they're all just in their thing collecting their ramen packets.
Yeah.
So I'd say that was a show that I watched by myself. That was one I would turn that on at night. And if you were to talk to me pre-engagement, fall asleep on the couch right there. Wake up the next morning.
Okay.
But now I get up, I go to bed. Yep. Then I turn off all the lights, make sure the cats are good, right? Lock them, put the wood in the sliding door.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of a routine, but.
So when you go to bed, there's no TV then?
No TV. I'll put on a podcast.
Okay.
I'll put it underneath my pillow, and I'll
fall asleep to that.
Yep. Usually Theo Vaughn or something like that.
So when it's over, then you just fall asleep and it just ends on its own.
Right. Yep. Exactly.
How long does it take you to fall asleep?
If I do it the right way, 2-3 minutes.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. When I get comfy in the bed,
forget about it.
Yep, and it could be 2 p.m. If you get me in that bed, it's comfy enough.
That is the truth.
I'm
telling you right now. I get in the bed and I'm like, it could be 8 o'clock at night, whatever. I'm done.
Man, how late is it? Right. No, I get it. Yeah, and that's new too. When I was in college, I would be up till 3 a.m. We're going to TJ's, we're going wherever, the whole thing. But now it's man, I just worked all day, and I spent the last 3 hours hanging shelves and putting plywood in our rafters in the garage. I'm done.
Shutting it down. Yeah.
9:30, perfect.
Good enough by me.
Bedtime.
I'll go to bed 8 o'clock sometimes. My wife's like, it's only 8. I'm like, that doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
It really doesn't bother me.
No, because that means I'll wake up tomorrow a little earlier.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yeah, tired is tired.
Right now, when I go to bed 10 o'clock, I'm up 7:30.
Yeah,
without a question. It is. I have a very I have a pretty solid clock. I getting my 8 hours.
Alarm or no alarm?
I always set alarms because of the fear of me staying up a little bit too late.
Sure.
That kind of thing.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
But on the weekends, the times where I want to sleep in until noon, 7:30.
Yeah.
Because normally the night before we're doing something or we're the kings and queens of falling asleep while watching a movie. She gets so mad at me. 20 minutes in, out.
Oh, yeah.
Crashing totally. But yeah.
I heard on a podcast that I'm gonna probably mess up the stats, but it's something similar to this. But basically, every hour you sleep before midnight counts as 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, with how I wake up, that would make sense.
Yep. And then they also said they don't believe you should set an alarm to get up. You should set an alarm to go to bed.
Huh.
Yeah. So
that makes sense.
If you know you have to get up at whatever 6 a.m. and you want to sleep 8 hours, you set your alarm for 10 o'clock, time to go to bed.
Yeah.
Or 9:30 or whatever that is. It takes a half hour. So yeah, and I thought that was very interesting. So yeah, I don't set an alarm to get up in the morning. I will if, like you said, like I know I have to be up by a certain time and I got to make sure I get up.
Right.
Sometimes I beat my alarm, but 9 times out of 10, I set an alarm if I have to get up for something.
Right.
But then I have an alarm set on my phone that goes off at 7 o'clock every day. 7 o'clock every day. And it says, and I have it written on there, show me how good today can be.
Amen.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So I love that part. So yeah.
What I do with a lot of stuff is I'll write stuff out and I'll smack it on the door. I'm mean to myself at times. Like I'll say, you get your ass out of bed right now.
Yeah,
I'll tape it to my ceiling.
Yeah.
Cause I'm the first person to and there's Drew and then there's tired Drew.
Yeah.
And tired Drew, he would let every responsibility he has in the world go to waste if he could just sleep in bed.
Sure.
And I learned that pretty early on I need something that I open my eyes and I see, and real Drew can kick in and be like, you're being lazy, get up.
Yeah. I can't tell you the last time I actually hit snooze.
Yeah.
If I have an alarm set, I'm getting up.
Yeah.
It's time to get up.
That's what I'm trying to get.
I think if I hit snooze, I've lost my first job of the day.
Yeah, that's fair.
I told myself I want to get up 7. My 7 o'clock goes off, and if I don't get up, then I've defeated.
Right.
I've lost already.
Right. Well, and I've gotten comfortable because whenever I left school, I had 7:30 a.m.s, the whole thing. And so when I had that schedule up and I was happy getting coffee in the mornings, I enjoyed the walk to class, the whole thing. But then I got in a job where I could come in tomorrow if I don't need to come in today. And so I've gotten so comfortable of, I'm not going to set an alarm. I'll go to bed 2 a.m., play some games, the whole thing. But living with my fiance has definitely put me at a point of like, all right, like to put it short, man up.
Yeah.
It's I've had my fun. I've been living with my buddy. I've had the messy apartment, the whole thing. It's like, nope, this is bigger than me.
Yeah.
Time to get up and go.
I was gonna say something. Shoot, it was something about getting up. Darn it. Oh no, it was coffee. I've never had a cup of coffee before in my life.
Really? Why?
Don't like it.
That's fair.
Actually, probably the biggest reason is my mom and dad loved it. So they would get up in the morning and they would have 2 pots of coffee before they even left for work.
Oh.
They'd have a pot, they'd drink a pot together and then they'd make a second pot so they could put it in a thermos and take with them and have a cup to go. And the reek of coffee was all over the house every morning. And I'm like, I hate coffee. Yeah, I've never had a cup of coffee. Never had a cigarette before in my life either.
That's me with cigarettes. So my mom got hypnotized to stop smoking.
Really?
She hasn't smoked in 5 years.
My wife's dad did the same thing.
I didn't believe it until she came home and cold turkeyed it.
Yeah.
Never looked back.
Yeah.
Like she'll have moments where the smell of it will kind of get to her times, but no, that was me. And because they didn't smoke inside, they smoked in the garage. But then they smell like it, and you open the door, all of a sudden there's Camel Blues floating in with you. But no, that's me too. And I've been prompted, and I'm not, when I was in high school, did I take a dumb puff of a cigarette? Sure I did. I did one. Yeah. And I tasted it and I was like, it tastes like it smells.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Bad, right?
Yeah. Not good.
I can remember Christmas at not necessarily my house, at my grandma and grandpa's house. And literally, I'm a 5-year-old kid and I'm just there's a cloud of smoke above my head through the whole house. Everyone was smoking. Yeah. Everyone. And we just went, we just walked underneath it. Right. That's kind of how it was.
You're fine, right.
We just kept on going with it.
Yeah.
But those are 2 things that I've never done. So.
Right. Now that I'm not around it anymore, I didn't realize how bad it was until I went into my first smoking bar. Yeah. Where they smoke inside and it's like, whoa, this tastes like PTSD. I'm not a fan of this.
Yeah. Cause I remember when that law first came into play in Illinois, my mom had already stopped smoking, but my dad was still smoking. And he's like, oh, I'll do whatever I want to do. I was like,
Yeah,
that's what you thought about the seatbelt too, but you're putting that on.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
but so long story short, he probably should have quit.
Yeah, that's fair.
He didn't, but
Yeah, no, that's where we're at with my stepdad, and my mom will like that I'm bringing this up. When we were on a vacation in Colorado, we went and saw a concert at Red Rocks, and he was working on the siding on their new house, fell off, punctured his lung, broke his ribs.
No.
So my mom flew back early, took care of him, whatever, and so he stopped smoking. The first time he had stopped smoking since he was 18.
Wow.
And he's 50s. And and he was miserable. Like he told me, he's like, I hated every second of it.
Sure.
And he's like, but I felt better.
Yeah.
Like he's like, my lungs felt better. But then he's back on it now. And it's like, and we're talking to him like, dude, there's a hole in your lung. Like, or there was, like, it's like, we gotta stop. But I mean,
it's hard.
I
it's
couldn't
hard for
imagine,
people to stop.
I could not imagine having to stop something like that, just because, I mean, I myself have not struggled with smoking cigarettes, but I have watched countless people in my family go through it, and I couldn't imagine it.
This is how bad it is. I have a story about, I was in the gas station. I like to go to the Circle K and get a Polar Pop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in line, got my Polar Pop, and there's a lady in front of me, and she says, give me 2 packs of whatever, Marlboro Reds, and $3.20 in gas.
Mm-hmm.
We know where her priorities are.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
I only, listen, I got to have my cigarettes.
Right.
And I got to have 2 packs of them.
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever I got left, I'll just take that in gas.
Yep.
So that's just how it is for people.
Yeah.
So what's your stepdad's name?
Dave.
Dave.
Yeah.
Dave, if you're listening, you can stop, brother.
You can do it.
You can do it, man. Do it for your grandkids. Do it for longevity in your life. Do it so that way when you get to be about 75, 80 years old and your grandkids want you to get on the ground and play with them, you can do that. So, Dave, we're rooting for you.
Absolutely.
I don't know if he listens or not.
I'm not too sure either, but I'll tell him to make sure to listen to this.
That's right.
Yeah.
What about your legacy? What do you want your legacy to be?
I'm not sure if this is necessarily a legacy thing. I just want to be known as the happy guy. The guy who wasn't stressed, the guy who, when everything was going crazy, I was the one that was like, we're going to figure it out.
Okay.
And I think that I grew up in a household that was naturally stressed.
Sure.
Whether it's how things look or whether it's, getting things done or whatever. I have just learned that, whether it's a mess that needs to be picked up or whether it's a task that needs to be done. There are some tasks that have to be done that day.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
But I'd say about 98% of them, what's the difference if I do that today or I do it tomorrow when I have nothing to do?
Mm-hmm. Or whether I do it at 10 or if I do it at 1.
Exactly.
It's
kind of like me with the gym.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go do the exact same workout so I can either A, cut into my time that I have with my fiance, the time that I value,
right? Mm-hmm.
Or I can stay up a little bit later and sleep in a little more the next day and do it at night.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
So you want to be, what would you call that? Probably the unshakable.
Yeah. That's a good way to say it. Yeah.
Unshakable Drew.
Yeah. I think, and I say this to my fiance all the time, what is me stressing going to do to fix it?
Yeah. Right.
Or, is like, what can I do right in this second to make what's going to happen in 3 weeks better?
Yep.
Nothing?
Yep.
Then I'll have it in the back of my mind, but I'm not going to stress about it.
And if there's nothing, it's going to happen,
Right.
So I hear people talking about whatever. Let's just talk about the price of gas and they get worked up about it. I still need gas.
So you're going to go buy either way.
I got to get it.
Yeah.
Whether I get it for 5 cents less or 10 cents more, I got to get it. Everybody talking about the ComEd bills going up. And my neighbor, I was talking to him like, you believe how much it went up? I'm like, I'm not canceling ComEd.
Right. You got to have electric. I'm
not canceling it. So I'll just pay it.
Yeah.
I'll give up something else.
Right.
You know what I mean? It'll be okay.
Yeah.
So
awesome. Well, Jeff, this was so much fun.
It's good stuff.
I really appreciate you coming on. One more thing, your book.
Yeah.
We have a book really fast. Can we talk about it real fast?
Sure.
Just fill me in what's it about?
It's not much. I mean, it's a self-help, motivational type book. I wrote it with Randy Fox. Randy is a good friend of mine, basketball referee.
Cool.
And now a motivational speaker out in Florida. So he wrote it, and it's some stories about officiating and how I got into it, and some funny stuff, and how I still made it through. Lots of mistakes in there. And I always said I wanted to write a book, so I wrote a book. You know what I mean? I had to write it with someone else.
Right.
A
little help,
Yeah,
right.
But I think that's again, like I said earlier, I'm a shoot aim. I'm a fire
aim, shoot kind of guy.
Yeah, well, I shoot first. I don't even worry about planning it or
right.
nothing. Not I'm a fire, aim ready kind of person. That's what I am. So I just did it, And he's like, "You want to do it?" I'm like, "Yeah." So this has been out for, I don't think this is 21. Maybe it came out. No, it might have been 19 that it came out. Because 2020 we did an audio version of it. So
cool.
Yeah. So I think if you wanted one, they'd have to email me at jeffcross22@gmail.com.
We'll put it on the screen. Perfect.
There you go.
Sweet.
And all my socials are jeffcross22. So
cool. Is that how? So if someone wanted to do Ordinary Dads, is that where they reach out to you as well?
Yeah, just message me on any of those platforms.
Awesome.
You just message me anywhere. I'm constantly answering those things. I actually had this discussion with my wife. She was scrolling, whatever, some reel, right? And she had a Facebook notification.
Mm-hmm.
And she kept on scrolling. I said, how
do you keep scrolling
that?
Right.
And not look at the notification?
Mm-hmm.
I said, I'll stop everything to look at the notification. So yeah. And if I haven't answered you within 24 hours, that means somehow it's gotten lost in the shuffle. So reach out again to it in another way, or just in the same way, but maybe with exclamation points.
Yeah.
So
gotcha.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Jeff Cross 22, man. If you're a dad, that's your only qualification is you're a dad. We don't care if you can sing or not. We actually prefer you don't.
Sweet.
We don't need anybody bragging. Okay?
Right. I don't want to stand out.
That's right. We don't want anybody do good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, I appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.